The new season just started, and today we're gonna take a look at Doublade. This Pokemon got 2 new moves in Shadow Claw as well as Sacred Sword, and also was traded from my fellow caster, König Leonard, so shout out to you. Very cool that I'm going to be able to showcase a Pokemon here that I got from a trade from the regional and Frankfurt. So yeah, this was a lot of fun to play this team. I went 10 and 10, like 10 out of 10, which is perfect. I have not had a single loss with this team. So yeah, this team was absolutely amazing. It's a team that I would really recommend you to give a try if you want to try out Doublade. It's a very simple team. It's a team that should work out quite well against nearly everything that you could face. And we're going to talk a little bit about how this team is going to work. We're going to have Doublade in the lead, a Pokemon that's going to get a ginormous buff this season in Shadow Claw, which you see here already doing some nice solid stab damage, as well as Sacred Sword, which is going to give you perfect coverage, hitting now also the Steel-type Pokemon for super effective damage, which you previously weren't able to hit at all. You're going to be able to hit those Dark-type Pokemon now, which are usually countered to the Ghost typing, and you're going to be able to hit Normal-type Pokemon, which are also usually countered to the Ghost typing. So basically, what you have with the coverage that you got now is, Pokemon that has a lot of play in the current meta. And this will not be the final video towards that Doublade, because I would love to take a look at this Pokemon together as well with the Aegislash. And so yeah, I kind of want to see how this is going to go. And today we're going to take a look now at Doublade here, and we see already the first battle we're going to be able to win with all 3 Pokemon left, and mainly with Doublade. So, what is this team? We're going to have Doublade in the lead. This Pokemon is mainly weak against ground-type Pokemon in the current meta. Mud Steppers is something that you really don't want to face, and so we have Altaria to cover those up perfectly there. But also, the benefit of having Doublade is that you're going to be very good against Ice-type Pokemon as well as Fairy-type Pokemon. Those Pokemon that you really don't want to face as an Altaria. So it's basically a perfect core together with Altaria. You also have the weakness of Fire in the lead, which Altaria can deal with. Altaria itself has a weakness of Dragon, which like Doublade can deal with. So both perfectly kind of together, like they're both really working out well together. And then we're going to have our safe swap here, the Lickilicky. Having coverage with the Shadow Ball that's also buffed this season with the Ghost typing is absolutely fantastic, because what this allows you to do is it just allows you to basically hit those Pokemon that are maybe weak to Ghost types that want to avoid your lead matchup with your safe swap for super effective damage, like any Psychic type Pokemon, any Ghost type Pokemon, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic for this thing there. Basically, it's like a perfect glue in between. And also, you're going to be able to hit fire-type Pokemon for super effective damage. A lot of times, fire-type Pokemon are going to be a bit of a trickier matchup there, like something like a Talonflame or Charizard are going to be just Pokemon that you don't really want to face with your lead. And so that is where your Lickilicky comes in clutch there. And Lickilicky generally a very good Pokemon to have this season. And of course, the first few battles are never really that competitive. This is something that we have to be aware of course. The first few battles are never really competitive in the GO Battle League for a new season. But hopefully, if you haven't clicked on your battle tab yet, before doing this, please use a star piece. That is very important in order to get the most amount of Stardust. If you hit Legend last season with a star piece, you're going to get 300,000 Stardust. Again, if you use a star piece before, and otherwise you're going to get 200,000, which is also totally fine. You're going to get some charge TMs, you're going to get, I think, an elite TM as well, which is really, really cool. And of course, this season is going to be an interlude season. This means there is not going to be anything like Legend or whatever, and I'm very curious on what reason that has, because basically, the last time in the interlude season was happening, there was a bigger change to the GO Battle League format, because there was like some kind of cheat going around that they had to fix, and that actually kind of caused afterwards like 2.5 years of just constant lag in game for Pokemon Go PvP, and they now only recently were able to fix it. So I'm curious what you're going to be able to get from this interlude season. Here, by the way, I actually completely forgot what fast move the Vanilluxe had for the beginning until I saw it's going to be Astonish here. So I still gonna get my shield advantage, which I can take for the next matchup. I know they have Avalanche, which is a move that hurts quite a bit, and so I rather use a shield here, which is going to be my best answer to Vanilluxe, as I have still that Fairy type in the back. But they actually went for a Flash Cannon, which is not ideal. Generally, Vanilluxe is not ideal. They're gonna go to their Ninetales, but this is going to be a Pokemon here now where our fast move is going to do some super effective damage. Body Slam is just going to weaken them a little bit, and this puts them perfectly into range for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does a bit more damage than the Body Slam, actually quite a bit more damage, I think. Body Slam is like 55 damage times 20% stab bonus. You end up at around, 68 or something damage total, while Shadow Ball does 100 damage flat. And so like Shadow Ball is quite a bit more damage output compared to the Body Slam, as a Body Slam, yeah, it's not the best move, but generally speaking, Shadow Ball is one of the strongest moves currently in the game. 100 damage for 50 energy is amazing. Like, that's an absolutely fantastic move. And this is going to be defining the meta a little bit. This is something that you're going to see not in the first 2 battles, but yeah, throughout the season, that there is going to be a lot of Pokemon with Shadow Ball that are going to have a lot of play, especially like Jellicent. I think is going to be one of the strongest Pokemon for the upcoming season. Here I'm battling someone at rank 20. That is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, that is definitely not how it's supposed to be. But we have the Skeldodge against us. This is going to be a Pokemon where you have super effective coverage with a Shadow Ball. And that is perfect. As we're even going to be able to reach our Body Slam in time to either force a shield or the KO against the opponent. We're actually going to force the shield from them, which is kind of funny. Because now we are going to be able to just, yeah, let the move go. And it's going to be Shadow Ball. This is, again, Skeldodge is actually a Pokemon I kind of want to take a look at because it got the boost to Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is now the best kind of move to go for this Pokemon. And we're going to have the Body Slam here from the Lickilicky. That is fine. Against the opponent's Venusaur, I have 2 hard answers to Venusaur. Like, there are literally nothing that they can do with the Venusaur. This Pokemon is absolutely bad against me. Doublade resists everything, double resist even the poison type damage. And then we have Altaria, which is going to double resist the grass type damage. So you're kind of going to be alright with it no matter where you're going to have it against you. And here, for example, we are going to see the opponent going for a charge move here with a Swampert. It's going to be the Hydro Cannon. And we are going to try our best to go for a charge move here. We are going to be able to go ahead and go for the Sacred Sword against them and get the shield. And now we're going to know we're going to win this battle anyway. Double Sacred Sword is just going to do a lot of damage against the opponent, which is perfect. And we can sub out into the Altaria, which can hardwall the opponent's moveset. The worst thing they can go for is a Sludge. And they go for Hydro Cannon. So like they don't even have the benefit of going for the Sludge here. And so we're gonna have the Sky Attack coming in. We're gonna be able to knock them out, and we can move on to the next opponent as they're gonna go down here. So let's see what we're going to have here. We're going to have the Ludicolo. Ludicolo is going to be a very interesting Pokemon this season. It's going to be a Pokemon that I kind of want to take a look at next as well, so stay tuned for that. But in comes all the Blastoise. That is going to be fine. We're going to try our best to swap out of here as well. We're going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball against the thing. We're actually not in a bad position here. Shadow Ball is going to do some solid damage against this Pokemon. And as you see as well, our rollout at the same time as the opponent goes for a rollout kind of adds up. As we see the shield, I think, coming up from this Body Slam, if I remember correctly, they do decide to use a shield here, which seems a bit silly now in hindsight. But that is fine. In comes the Hydro Cannon. That is totally okay, as now we can go for the Shadow Ball against the opponent, and we are gonna be in a position where we can just go ahead and get the KO against them. That's perfect. Ludicolo comes in. In comes also our Altaria, and we can go for the Doublade swap against the Ninetales. And now, while we actually got hard counted in the lead beginning, kinda, we are now going to be able to hardwall the opponent, which is so much better, of course, for us. I will gladly take that, and we can now go ahead and see what the opponent is going to have here. Yeah, in the back, which is going to be, of course, the Ludicolo, which you saw already. We don't really need to shield here. We don't really need to keep this Pokemon alive, as we still have the Altaria, and this is going to be perfect, as now we are going to be able to, yeah, go ahead and go for a shield here against the opponent. This is going to be the Weather Ball coming in, and we try our best to go for yet another Sky Attack. This is absolutely perfect for us, as now we're gonna get the KO against them, and they have nothing really that they can do about that. And we can move on to the next opponent, where Manabuzz awaits. This Pokemon is usually running Air Slash, but this one is actually running Snarl. I guess both of the fast moves are kind of both viable, so like there's not really a clear winner there in this kind of regard. Like there is no clear winner in which kind of move is the better one to go for. And in comes here the Feraligatr. Feraligatr is going to be interesting. It's going to be a Pokemon that has double resisted fast move damage against our Lickilicky, so like it's not that scary here. And we can see what we can do here. We're going to be able to go for the charge move there. It's going to be the Body Slam coming in. And we can try our best to go for the full farm, as we should be able to take hit. But look at this. This is like the fun of the early battles. They have actually Hydro Pump over Hydro Cannon, which is something that you don't see like usually at all. But we see it here, and we're going to be able to go ahead and let the Shadow Ball go through against the Surf Edge of the opponent. We're going to try our best here. It's going to be another charge move coming in, and we're going to try to get here the Sacred Sword off against the opponent there as well. That's going to get some damage in, get the KO, and then in comes the Manabuzz. They go for the Aerial Ace, which doesn't do really that much damage, which is fine. And with that, we are going to see here that the charge move, the Sacred Sword, is coming through, getting the shield from the opponent. I can go for even another Sacred Sword here. This is going to be enough to get, I think, the final shield. Let's see. Actually, the opponent rage quit here, so it doesn't really matter. We are going to be able to win this battle. And we can move on to the next opponent here. As we can see here, they can go for nothing because they just kind of were like, yeah, I'm gonna lose anyway. Let's just not actually quit the battle, just forfeit the app itself. And it's like, I think that's the only way of actually getting to this position is to go ahead and force close the app. And that is kind of unfortunate because it just makes the battle bad again, like for us as a player, which is not something that anybody should like desire, but it is what it is. We can move on to the next one. Where we're going to have here a bit of an awkward matchup. We're going to have the Corviknight. The Corviknight is going to be a Pokemon that, yeah, is quite awkward. But let's start out here now into their Gastrodon, which is generally good that I get this Pokemon out because our lead, of course, has no play against Gastrodon. Our lead really doesn't have play against Gastrodon. But we have, of course, our Altaria, which you would rather have against Pokemon. But, yeah, we are not going to be currently in a position where we're going to be able to align ourselves. In comes the opponent's Corviknight. That is fine, as now we're going to see here as well. There is going to be another charge move coming in. We're going to have to let the move go, and it is going to be enough to knock us out. But at least we're going to have alignment now. Like, we're going to have alignment here with our Altaria. In comes the Bibarel. And this is the thing. You're going to have now access to the moves of Sacred Sword. This is going to, of course, one-shot most likely the Bibarel as a normal type Pokemon. And so we are actually in a very solid position. Like, we are in a position where we absolutely could be able to just win this battle here, just with the Sacred Sword of the Bibarel, like not the Bibarel, against the Bibarel, with a Doublade here. The coverage is so amazing. As said previously, with the Ghost typing on the lead here, basically as well, with both the Ghost type of this Pokemon, but also the Ghost type of a fast move. It is absolutely fantastic to have Sacred Sword as a coverage move because it really helps out with the weaknesses that you would have here with this thing. So it's honestly such a cool Pokemon. I can't wait to try this even out a bit more. I think it's going to be such a cool Pokemon. Doublade generally. And here we're going to have the Bibarel. This is going to go down mostly against the Altaria. I could even just let the move go here and try to still get to my move with my other Pokemon. Let's see here, the Doublade is coming in. We're going to be able to go for the Sacred Sword. And this is absolutely fantastic because now I am going to be able to move on to the next opponent. We're going to be able to win this game. So, next one, we're going to have here the Morpeko. Morpeko is going to be fine. This is going to be a Pokemon where we can actually outspeed them. Here's the funny thing. It is fine as long as they go for Aura Wheel. If they go for the bait, it's actually not fine at all. If they go for the bait, it's really tricky for us. But luckily so far, they just go for their Aura Wheel, and so I'm kind of in a good position. I'm going to be able to get the shield advantage here, which is honestly really, really good to have. Like, it's honestly super good to have this shield advantage here. But as you can see, they're going to knock us out. And I will lose my shield advantage very, very soon after. Like, there's not really anything I can do about that. As you guys see as well, I'm going to just go ahead and use the shield against the Morpeko because they're double boosted. And Aura Wheel is just going to destroy me, and I don't really have the opportunity to deal with that then. And so we have, you know, the awkwardness of having the opponent's Corviknight here. The payback is doing quite a lot of damage. But to be fair, it's kind of our best matchup. But the issue is, yeah, what is really awkward about this matchup is that this charge move here, the Flamethrower, is just barely not enough to put them into farm down range. So I would not be able to really farm them down here with off Dragon Breath at least. But we actually have some neutral play still in the back, and so I can kind of try to utilize it. And I'm going to try to utilize literally here. We're going to have the stop here into the Lickilicky. We have a ton of energy. Morpeko comes in. We have the Body Slam stored. And this Body Slam is easily going to be enough to knock them out from this range. And so we are going to be in a perfect position here to win this battle. As we will see here, there's going to be the Dusclops coming in. And we have the perfect coverage. And this is like the beauty of this. We are just going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball. And 2 Shadow Balls is going to be enough to knock them out. They know about that. And this is the reason why they decided to forfeit here as well. So, next opponent we are going to see here as well, the Dusknoir, and I can catch the move, and this is really nice. Catching the Shadow Punch is amazing here actually. It's completely wasting all their energy. Like, I think they have one more fast move basically advantage right now, but we're in such a good position. As in comes now the Corviknight again. Corviknight seems to be a very common Pokemon so far, but again, it's only 10 battles of the new season. We don't know exactly on what's going to change. Again, I do think that, by the way, Morpeko is a fantastic pick in the current meta. Morpeko is one of the harder Pokemon to deal with for this team here as well. But in comes Shadow Ball, it's going to get shielded, and we have now so much chargeable pressure still with our little Sword Boy here, with our Doublade, that the double Sacred Sword would knock them out, but we're just going to take one. Let them go for the charge move. It needs to be payback to knock us out, but they are going to be able to farm us still down because of the attack boost here in time. If they didn't get the attack boost, they would have never got to the next charge, like the farm down done there. We would be able to go for another charge move prior. And with that, they even get so much more damage against the Altaria. But honestly, don't really care too much about what they try to do here, because what we have here is now the Dusknoir against our Altaria, but Altaria has 2 shields. And with 2 shields, we have a lot of fast move pressure. We're actually just going to be able to knock them out straight away. Against Credilli, yes, it's going to be a tough Pokemon to deal with, but somehow they just decide to let the move go here. They just decide to let the first move go, even though they kind of want to debuff me as soon as possible. And so I did basically get the most amount of damage possible in there as well. And even with my shields here, I tried to stop out of here now as well, but I was too late. I was just too late for the opponent. They're going to be able to go for the next move in time. Gonna be a Rock Tomb. And because I'm so debuffed, I kind of want to just swap out of here and try to catch the move, which works out perfectly. Like, I have nearly 2 charge moves out on my Altaria, but they put me into perfect farm down range. I can still go for the Body Slam. If they shield here, this game is over and I win immediately. And as you see, they decided to use a shield, and with that, we are going to be able to just win the battle. And it's going to be it for the first video of this new season. Do you like the new move updates? What is your favorite one? And also, if you have some interesting teams, feel free to send in some gameplay with a link down below, and I will see you then. Here, as you can see, I got a 10 out of 10. Bye-bye.